Hello! Quick disclaimer before I start the video. Over these past few weeks I've been extremely busy with life things, like first my editor broke down, I had to get a new one, then at the same time I was sort of out and about helping family members and work and blah blah blah, you get all that. So as a result this video has been uploaded a couple of weeks too late, I think. So basically a couple of weeks ago OdinWolf decided to dip his toes into the wonderful world of Popufur political saber rattling, and he decided to make this video, which he's since deleted, where he basically just goes straight for the throat of a couple of people on Twitter, calling them Nazis and racists and blah blah blah. Really big outlandish accusations. Quite a dramatic video where basically he tries to get these people cancelled because they were making this new convention called the FreedomCon. So I watched it. I predicted that Odin would try and take it down by the end of the day because, as you're going to see in this video, it was a pretty misinformed, deliberate sort of fear-mongering kind of video. I'm going to play the entire video and I'm just going to chime in at different points just to debunk the various lies and misconceptions and things like that, because since he's released it, not only has OdinWolf doubled down since deleting the video, the runners of the convention have had to work overtime in order to debunk some of the baseless lies that have arisen since this video came out. So without further ado, let's get straight into it.
Hey everybody, it's Odin, and in this week's video, we have a disaster on rainforest level proportions for you guys this week. And it is a convention that hasn't even happened yet, and yet, oh my god, there's so much wrong with it. It's absolutely unbelievable. And I am joined with a good old pal, Abzu of CB Fursuits, and she's gonna talk about this disaster with me. So, hello Abzu.
Hello.
Abzu and my other friend Northcote wrote information about this convention, so we're gonna go on that, and let's just delve right into this disaster, horrible mess with some of the worst people ever. Take it away, Abzu.
So the Anthro West Open Organization, or AWU for short.
Yeah, they tried to trademark the term AWU. You know that thing that furries say all the time? Yeah, they tried to trademark that and take that.
So starting off, straight off the bat, no evidence exists for this claim. This, as far as I'm aware from researching it, this claim has solely originated from Odin's mouth, seemingly.
They're defiling the term AWU.
If you say AWU, you're a fascist. They opened this organization for people who want to focus on free speech.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Free speech is wonderful. What could go wrong?
It bloated itself as non-partisan, that supports no political causes, that is open, welcoming, and enjoyable to all, regardless of background.
You know, it's really weird. I don't think any furry convention I know of, like, talks about politics at all, so it's weird they'd even have to state that, huh?
Well, isn't, like, the furry fandom pretty open by default? Why do you have to state the obvious? This is kind of sus.
Suspicious.
This is the exact same guy who every couple of videos starts moaning about how every single time he's petitioned to be a guest of honour at various conventions, be it AnthroCon, Midwest Fur Fest and so on, they've actually rejected him every single time due to his past involving mersuiting and things like that, during which he's basically called them intolerable fools. So again, this comment here just strikes me as, to be honest, bizarrely disingenuous. I guess it doesn't happen though.
This is a thing that started in Tulsa. What state is that again?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Whatever.
The city of Tulsa in
Oklahoma. Yeah. But it started there, which is fine, and then they started to grow and create this whole organization to go with it.
There's way more to it because one of the people that go to it is actually banned from the convention that's in Tulsa.
Gee, that's odd.
So on September 1st, the AWU organization announced their brand new convention. The con's preview trailer continued with the narrative of a free from censorship, free from politics, and is open to everyone, regardless of background and history. I killed 20 people and I'm allowed to do this.
Okay,
because there's no judgment, right?
Bear in mind, this is the exact same dude who recently had to cancel his Twitter because it turns out he discriminates trans people from parties in real life. Guess it doesn't happen though.
I have to say, when I saw the trailer, I literally burst out laughing when they announced their guest of honor. No joke, I just hysterically started laughing because I was like, oh, I get it. You have Numbered Bird as your guest. Okay, here's the problem.
Well, you see, Odin, the thing is, at least he actually gets invited to be guest of honor, so, you know.
I didn't even watch the trailer. I don't want to the views.
It's so bad. It's like announcing special guest, Numbered Bird. See, I'm not going to give his name out because, again, I don't want to give these people recognitions when they're piles of garbage. But yeah, they have a very, very horrible guest.
They've literally banned you from being a guest of honor at every single major FurCon going because they absolutely disagree and do not tolerate your previous mersuiting videos. So, again, I have no idea what you're on about.
Now, my thing is, if you've made mistakes in the past and you've had bad takes, bad views, but you learn from those and you grow and you become a better person, then that shows, you know, that's good. However, when you make these mistakes and you double down on your terrible views and you're just an overall bad person that refuses any change, you're a lost cause and you can go away. And that's the problem with this guest of honor, is that they've made tons of mistakes, never learned from them, and always double down and say they're always right and everybody else is wrong. That's the issue.
Bear in mind that, to this very day, I'm still blocked by Odin on every single social media platform going because of the last time where I allegedly, according to them, just made up some random bullshit about OdinWolf bullying people, and apparently that was caused to deem me completely irredeemable for life, and since then apparently people like me are completely unable to grow, so I'm not sure where Odin's definition of a person being able to grow and move on really starts and ends.
They're just a fat person.
It's also being marketed as America's Anthro Convention, not a furry convention. This is different because those furries and their lack of free speech, we're anthros now.
Yeah, I want to comment on that because the certain direction of furries that isn't that way, it's actually towards the right, chose to take up the term anthro instead of furry because furries didn't really want them in the community since they're more like burned furs, and it's usually transphobes, racists, bigots.
So you mean like you then?
Just disgusting people that have no place in the world, let alone our fandom.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
They decided to take up the term anthro instead of furry because, you know, it's totally different. Oh.
So we can associate somewhat with the furry community because some of the people might, you know, join the little community that they're building because they're like, oh, anthros, I know what those are, when it's a trap.
It is a trap, and it's unfortunate.
Also, it's America's convention. So
yeah, sorry, Abzu, you're Canadian, you can't go.
I'm fucking banned for life.
Really?
I'm gonna show up.
Yeehaw.
I'm not gonna be allowed to join.
Again, nowhere has anyone ever actually said this. This is a completely new, fresh claim, completely made up on the spot by OdinWolf and his friend Abzu. Nowhere, never has this claim ever been made. They do not discriminate against people from different countries. This is a complete fabrication. This is a lie, basically.
You need to wear a cowboy hat. Like everybody that goes has to wear cowboy hats.
I'll eat a burger and a hot dog and be like,
for
yeehaw.
some reason, instead of badges, they'll probably just give you armbands. I don't know.
With a red armband with my own paw in the middle of it?
Oh, that's so crazy. So the irony of this is that when they tweeted the announcement trailer for this, they turned off commenting. So this free speech organization that is open to everybody also doesn't want you to comment on the post because they are afraid of the backlash once people found out who organized this convention.
I mean, just throwing this out there real quick. It's funny that for a convention and an organization that advocates free speech, they're really scared of the free speech of other people.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally.
What a bunch of hypocrites.
No, this is because they kept spamming death threats, constantly saying they'd show up to the conventions and start slashing people with knives and shooting up the event. So again, another complete, deliberately disingenuous lie that apparently they just don't tolerate free speech. No effort has been made to back up this claim. People have known this for weeks now, that this has been an ongoing thing, an ongoing problem for the convention, that every single time they open it up, those people who supposedly do not exist actually do exist, and they are very well and really threatening to kill, hurt and assault the runners of the convention.
So the creator of this convention, which we will just call P-Wolf, because we don't want to give them, again, name recognition, because I ain't about that on this channel. If you're a bad person, you can, not have your name out there.
Ooh, you're odd.
But
You can be P.
Yeah, you're P.
You're P.
P-Wolf, oh my god, once it started to come out about them, it's awful. The things they've said, the tweets they've favorited. On the day people were massacred, they favorited a tweet about saying like, BLM, you were warned. And like, when people of color got murdered, they favorited a tweet that was saying, well, they were warned because, and it's just like, holy shit, they have no sympathy for people of color.
Oh no, they like to tweet. Oh, definitive evidence, send them down. Yeah, by the way, I tried to find this tweet, and it turns out that either it simply does not exist, or again, the reasons as to why it was liked are completely unknown to everyone involved. As far as we know, they could have been bookmarking the tweet, they could have been passing it on to someone else, but whatever. According to Odin, straight from his mouth, no other evidence needed. He says cancel culture is a good thing, but then at the same time he constantly moans every couple of weeks, every single time he gets rejected to be a guest of honour because of his own shitty past. But of course he's never going to mention this because, hey, he's OdinWolf, it doesn't matter if you have enough money and following. I'm a big YouTuber, listen to me.
Oh
Why
god,
can't we
this
see
tweet.
peop-
Oh god.
Alright, another quote from their Twitter.
Quote from
the more we
P-Wolf.
from P-Wolf. The more we focus on race, the longer racism is going to continue to be a problem. Can we not just see people as people? If you're white, you're seen as inherently racist, and if you're black, you're seen as inherently oppressed. This mindset is doing no good for our society.
Okay, can I just say, you absolutely need to focus on race, because when there are people marginalized and victimized and systematically oppressed, you need to fucking focus on the reason why that may be. And guess what? If you're a white person, hi, I'm a white guy. I don't go around pretending that I'm the victim and I'm super oppressed for being white, because that's just BS and it's not getting you anywhere.
Unlike Odin, I actually know the context behind this tweet, so I'm going to try and explain the context behind this tweet, because unlike Odin, I actually tend to care about that sort of thing. You remember a couple of months ago when you had Nosai and his friends going around cancelling people, including OdinWolf himself, who of course he's not going to mention that, because he's not quite big enough to squash them yet. I mean, you had Nosai and all his friends going around kicking people like Kero The Wolf out the fandom, formerly the UK's #1 top furry YouTuber, who, as of last month, had to leave the furry fandom permanently because they would not stop harassing him and his boyfriend, calling him everything from a paedophile supporter to cub porn lover to transphobic bigot, blah blah blah.
And all you want to fucking do is you just want to fucking bully someone because of some fucking misinformed article. Skyway is not a paedophile at all. I know this because if he was, I wouldn't be his fucking boyfriend. He's never done anything to hurt anyone. And he's never, ever, ever looked at child porn.
You know, the Kero that you actually have to hop on a plane every couple of months to go do collabs with across the Atlantic back and forth. You know, that Kero. And here's the shocker, is that it turns out that Corey actually supports and follows P-Wolf. Isn't that interesting? Here's Odin, his friend, sat here saying, people like him do not exist, do not matter. It sounds to me as if being a friend of Odin's is worth approximately bugger all. People are unable to enjoy themselves because they feel like every single step they take, they've got to be extremely careful not to accidentally get on someone's pet peeve and say something that's deemed by ridiculous people, oh, they're racist, or they're Nazis, when they've just done nothing. They've done nothing to anyone. And again, he just pretends, oh, it doesn't exist. When it's happened to you yourself, it's happened to Odin already. And at the time, he moaned about it like everyone else, but now apparently it just didn't happen. Just doesn't exist. I'm sorry, but that's just cowardice.
At all. You need to focus on the people who are being harmed and help them and figure out, are there any solutions to this? How can we make this better? How can we start to slowly get rid of this problem that's been around forever and continues to be an issue? It's just frustrating because they insert things like, can't we see people as people? Which is a reasonable statement, but then they sandwich it between two ignorant things. So it's like, okay, no.
A bunch of dead children are being ignored because they're simply not white kids.
The
They're a
Canadian
bunch
problem?
of First Nations kids.
Yeah, oh my god.
Completely being ignored by our government. If it was a white kid, everyone would be up in arms. But because it's native kids, nobody gives a shit.
Where has this come from? Where has this come from? What has any of this got to do with the convention? What is going on? This is the exact same Abzu who, if I recall correctly, messaged me calling me a, quote, pussy motherfucker who's too afraid to show his own real voice after I made a couple of videos highlighting OdinWolf, how he'd regularly treat his own IRL friends and fans like complete shit under his feet.
Also, by the way, the death count is up to 6,000.
That's awful. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've never said it on this channel because I never really thought I had to. But, hi, I'm very pro-trans. I believe that people of color should have equal rights to everyone else and, you know, be treated equally.
You literally left Twitter because it turns out you discriminate trans people from real life events.
I am against bigotry. I also believe that maps can be sent to the sun to be incinerated. Just all that stuff. I never thought I'd have to say it.
Yeah, you have to say it because if you don't, then they'll probably come along and kick you off this platform as well.
But yeah, those are just some of the quotes of their tweets, and they have a dedicated Twitter that they use for ranting.
I just don't understand why you'd create a convention with the guise of acceptance when you're an inherently unaccepting person. Why?
I don't feel
why
welcome
pretend?
just by looking at their banner.
No, just at least be transparent about how awful you are and awful your convention is. It's just quite simple.
Says the guy accused of robbing his own patron donators of valuable equipment and money. That one's been avoided. Who still, to this day, despite claiming multiple times not to, still follows multiple cub porn artists over on the Ink Bunny website. That one's also been avoided, and also has been accused of scamming a dying cancer patient out of 2,000 Magic the Gathering cards just so he could fund his collection. So for you to just sort of sit there with your little sassy one-liners going, why don't you just be transparent about how awful of a person you are? I'm sorry, Odin, but you wouldn't recognise transparency if it hit you in the head in the form of a brick, I'm afraid.
The problem with this is if you look at this convention and you look at their website, why don't you go to their website while I talk? So if you look at this convention, you look at this website and you didn't know any better, you'd be like, oh, cool, a convention, and maybe it's local to you. And you'd think, all right, let's go. It's so deceptive because it's easy to loop people in with this facade, and then you kind of indoctrinate them and start to give your really crappy, gross ideals and shove those onto the people. It's all this like friendly, accepting front. It exploits people who are vulnerable, people who feel ostracized, people who don't have friends, people who are just not in the greatest mental states or emotionally susceptible, and it gives them this guise of acceptance. But what they don't tell you is that you're accepted into a group that is based on hate. It's based on intolerance and hating minorities and marginalized groups.
And yet, you've got absolutely nothing to prove it.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
And it's really tricky because people can get sucked into that because they think, well, at least this group accepts me. So they start to take on those ideals and they start to act in ways that this group tells them to act because they just want to be accepted. It's how cults work. It's basically a cult, and it's really upsetting. And that's part of the reason I wanted to make this video, is so I can say, like, these are deceptive people. They want to suck people in that are vulnerable. And I'm here to tell you, fuck this convention. We're not gonna stand for this shit. I'm not gonna stand for it on my channel, period. I hope this convention doesn't go through, and if it does, man, it's gonna be like DashCon and Rainforest.
And remember, folks, all of this because someone, somewhere, allegedly upvoted a tweet.
A woo organization, you got a wolf howling at the moon, very basic furry stuff. It wouldn't be too much of a coincidence, considering the type of people that are organizing this event, to have some sort of relation to this logo.
Uh-oh.
This has got nothing to do with the convention, this is ridiculous.
Uh-oh.
Stinky poop.
I'm just gonna leave the graphic up there, because I don't want to say some of those words and get this video, like, blocked or whatever. But yeah, that's really concerning and, you know, not good.
For the last few minutes of the video, they sort of just throw around just basic nonsense for the next couple of minutes. I might as well just wrap it up here, I think. So I do like OdinWolf. I do support his stuff. In contrast to how other Popufurs have turned out to be, who've revealed their true colours over the last couple of months, he is more or less a saint in contrast. I think most of the stuff that's been thrown against OdinWolf, I think is bullshit. I don't think he's a transphobe. I don't think he's racist. I don't think at heart he thinks he's better than everyone or more deserving than everyone, even though unwittingly he has treated people that way, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, I think with this kind of video, the entire thing could have been avoided. This was pointless, and you know, since then he has deleted the video. In my opinion, in my heart, I feel like it's a permanent stain on his moral integrity, I believe. The moment you start lying about people who you haven't talked to, you haven't researched the facts, but you're spitting out all this stuff, it does weaken your character somewhat. A couple of weeks ago, he came to one of my fun memes on him. He left a nice little bit of interaction, a little comment, which it really made my day. It really did. It made my day. I thought it was fantastic. I thought, brilliant, he doesn't hate me anymore after I messed up a bit last time. So yeah, that's what I still think, even though I can't really reciprocate the gesture back because, you know, I'm still blocked and muted on every channel he owns, which does still hurt quite a bit. Basically, to summarise, don't take everything you see at face value. Always assume people think best of others and yourself. It's best to be constructive rather than just throwing up the floodgates and just saying, nah, sod everybody, we'll kick them out, we'll fight them, whatever. It's not good for anybody, win or lose. Anyway, if you have your opinions, leave them down in the comments below. Sorry if my voice has been a little bit shaky, or I haven't done any content for a month. For a month, and I'm still quite new to expressing myself in these ways, because, you know, again, like OdinWolf, I do have my problems with anxiety and so on. So, that's it, okay. Until next time, ta-ra, see ya, goodbye. No, not goodbye, what do I end it with? I'll just steal this, I'll use this.
And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!